ever closer as they came out of Lesmo 2, dropping down under the banking as the trees and the bridge funnel you down in here and you explode into the sunshine at 240 kilometers an hour, onto the brakes, over the curbs, through the Variante Ascari. And you're right, the two BMWs will work faster, will go faster if they work together. And of course, they're no longer rivals in different teams as they were last year. They are the only two BMW factory drivers in the same team with the same plan. Farfus pulls out, quite possibly just to get some fresh air onto the radiators to cool the engine temperatures down, because that's the other factor. Sitting in turbulent air right behind somebody, your radiators don't work the way they're designed to.
No, exactly right. You know, you need the airflow, stop the engine, keep the engine working at its optimum temperature, which is around about 70, 75 degrees, maybe 80, but anything usually after that starts to lose performance. But also the main thing is the brakes. As you can see, the slipstream effect here, look how quickly it starts to close. In fact, he's pulling out not to try and overtake, I don't think, but just to give the car a little bit of cooling.
So Tarquini leads from Huff, and the gap perhaps as big at the line as Gabriele has made it all the way through. Then Prio and Farfus. Mikel Nukia is getting closer to the BMWs. 202.3 for him, 202.39 for Prio, 202.4 for Farfus. So he's going well in fifth place, but the win, it's going to be Tarquini or Huff. Well, Farfus again showing his nose a little bit on the run down to the Roccia, but again, that's just to get some desperately needed cool air, and of course some of that will go through into the cockpit as well. Prio having a little weave to clean off the tyres before he turns into Lesmo 1. Lesmo 2 in qualifying, he had a couple of miscues there, didn't he, James? Car didn't like being turned in, and as a result he was trying to save it on the exit.
Yeah, it's very difficult because as you run wide onto the AstroTurf, as you see Ivan doing there, basically that is a mixture AstroTurf and the very dusty particles from the gravel trap, and of course it runs onto the rear wheels, and particularly with the front wheel drive car, indeed the rear wheel drive car, when you turn in the tyre, the slick tyre as we see is covered in sand or very fine dust, and of course it takes a split second to clean that as the car slides. And Andy, the car slid on the entrance to the corner, he caught it, but it had taken him wide, and so consequently he ran wide.
Michaelis with the puncture, going very slowly, his day's getting worse. Mehdi Benani, who leads the independent category and is 10th at the moment, his first lap under investigation by the stewards. Now, didn't see quite why, but if he's penalised, that means Harry Volkard, second in the independents, could come out with top points ahead of Stefano D'Aste and Sergio Hernandez, the pro team twins. Tarquini and Huff, 7 laps completed, 2 to go. And still Tarquini holds Huff at bay just. Prio and Farfus are dropping away. Leaders still lapping in 201s, James. They're 202s. They're more than 1.2 seconds slower than the lead pair. They're being caught by Nukia in 5th and Mullis Chevrolet in 6th position. So the BMWs may have got 1st and 3rd in qualifying, but again, it was not from having the fastest car around this track.
No, exactly right, and I think if they'd managed to stay onto the back of the lead two, I think we'd have seen a very, very different race. Rob's just dropped the wheel onto the dirt there. That'll cost him probably turning in. He may have just missed the apex a touch. Andy then runs over it, and indeed he's ran wide as well. So as you can see now, he'll defend to Augusto, and that was only because of the dust that Rob had put on the track. And when you're the next man to arrive, as we said before, you have to clean the dirt off the tyre, and that usually comes with a slide, whether it's the front of the car or the rear of the car.
So Tarquini Huff pulling away from Prio, Farfus, Nukia and Muller. Tom Coronel now 7th, Freddie Bart 8th, Thiago Montero behind him 9th, Mehdi Benani 10th, there's Harry Volkard 2nd in the Indies, 3rd in the independence category Stefano D'Aste, 4th his teammate Sergio Hernandez, 5th the 3rd Pro Team car of Andrei Romanov. And Pro Team, well, they were really in depths of depression almost after qualifying, no end of dramas with their cars, and it seems that they have finally managed to get a good race set up there, climbing up the order.
Yeah, exactly right. Marco, my old engineer, working hard with with the team and with the pro team, and I know that they were trying something different for the race, and it appears to be working. So nice to see them progressing forward. But it looks like the battle of Nukia, Muller and Coronel is actually closing right on the tail of Augusto. And if they do get into that slipstream, as we've said, then it's a battle for third place. So they just appear to be inching up ever closer to the back of Augusto.
Well, Augusto has got one lap to go now. Who is that? That's a Chevy, and it's that's Penia, the Argentine, who was in 11th. Now he was battling behind Benani, but with Harry Folkard right behind him. So Harry has crossed the line, but Penia going off in the Parabolica. That's right at the exit of the Parabolica as well. So yeah, carrying in a little speed, a little late.
That's unfortunate for Rob as well, because with it being the last lap, that limits his overtaking possibilities. And now the yellow flag, I'm sure, will stay there to the end of the race. So all Gabriel has to do is get to the Ascari chicane, and then basically he has the race won. So it's a frustration for Chevrolet, because they'll be thinking, right, well, you know, we needed that back straight to maybe put a manoeuvre over
the problem is, if you still need to make it when you get to the Parabolica, there's no time on the exit of Parabolica before you get to the line. So if you're not in front before Parabolica, nowadays you're not going to be, I don't think.
No, but it's nice to have the option to know that the man in front has to either defend to the inside and maybe cost himself on the exit. You always feel like you've got a chance, an opportunity. When the yellow flag's there, you know there's no chance to overtake. You have to take due caution. Rob's on the inside.
Half down the inside into Ascari, and a puncture for Tarquini, or a massive lock-up. No, it's a lock-up. He would have been, surely it is a puncture.
And Rob. Oh my God.
Oh, and Huff as well. Our leaders with punctures, and who's third? Prio still ahead of Farfus.
So there's no overtaking.
Yellow flags. If they don't catch them, they've got to catch them. Huff's tyre explodes. It shades of Brown's hatch. Here comes Prio and Farfus to win this into the yellow flag zone. They're in the yellow flag zone. Unbelievable drama at the end of the race. The race fell into their lap, and it was snatched away again. Huff. Well, they're going by Tarquini and the green flags. Green flags on the exit. So they're still going to win it. Wow! Great thinking by the BMW pair. And where are Huff and Tarquini going to end up? Huff in third at the line still? Yes! That is incredible.
Can you believe it?
Absolutely. Have you ever seen the like, even at Monza?
I've never seen anything like that before. I mean, I know there was a puncture a couple of years ago, and literally there was a Seat all fanned out to protect Ivan, and I was in the Alfa at the time, and I wondered what was happening. I thought there'd been a crash, and so I lifted off. But I've never seen two cars puncture on the run down to the last corner with a yellow flag. I mean, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So, in the final 200 metres, Prio and Farfus, it's a BMW 1-2.
Well,
Rob Huff in third place at the line. Now, this is how they cross the line. This is what the transponders tell us. That Huff was third at the line, Ivan Muller was fourth, ahead of Tom Coronel, Freddie Bart. Gabriele Tarquini was seventh the line, ahead of Mikon Nukia, Tiago Montero, and Benani was our top independent. But it all depends who passed who. Let's have a look again, if we can get our director to show us again the exit of Parabolica shown from the camera in the middle as the BMWs were passing Gabriele. When he pulled off, there was definitely a green flag on the exit of the corner. Don't forget that the Chevrolet went off between turn-in and the middle of the Parabolica, so it was not on the end of the Parabolica. And as soon as they'd gone past the zone, the next marshal's flag had a green flag. It was safe to race and overtake. So if they passed under green, James, it's good to go. They've won it.
But I also think there'll probably be a certain amount of common sense, even if there was, if there's a little bit of doubt over. I imagine there'll be a green flag at the exit of the Parabolica, which shows you can race to the line. But I imagine there'll be a certain amount of common sense. You've got two cars with punctures which are throwing rubber everywhere. You can't expect everybody to form up in a orderly fashion and just cruise across the line.
Well, the first thing that's going to happen is when Farfus and Prio see what the danger is, they slow down. The guys behind see them slowing down, they slow down more. Somebody in 12th or 15th place is going to come into the Parabolica at race pace and find stationary traffic filling the road, and there's going to be a huge shunt. So you're absolutely right. my gut instinct is that we saw a green flag before they passed, and there's no question coming into Parabolica everybody slowed right down.
Yep.
I mean, Mikkel Nuki was almost on the grass going, what the heck's happening, as bits and pieces flew in the air and everybody jammed on the anchors. So they definitely did not pass into the yellow flag zone.
It looked totally perfect to me. I mean, it looked like everybody was totally correct.
I think so too. They're the best touring car drivers in the world, and there they proved it with quick reactions.